What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Sabby. Welcome to another episode of Self Mastery. In today's episode, I want to discuss something very important and essential. I think this subject is just necessary for everybody to hear. I think this topic it's there in the psychological and spiritual community. People know somewhat about it, maybe not so much in depth about it, but they do know a lot about it. But I think it's important to get this message out to the average individual who may not be aware of these things that I'm about to share with you all today, because I think it's very just necessary that this information be out here and be out affecting people's lives, because a lot of people, if not all of humanity, suffers to a degree from trapped emotions in the body, which is the title of today's video, and I'll get right into it. So psychology and also the spiritual community talk a lot about how in order to feel good you must think good thoughts, and that is very true. But I feel like it's only like maybe half of the picture, right? It's a partial picture. And although I'm a big proponent of thinking good thoughts, and I'm also a big proponent that the way you think creates your reality. It's a pillar of self-mastery. But we cannot neglect the body, because the body plays a vital role when it comes to processing our emotions. And so, as you all know, that when stress happens, or when trauma happens, or any sort of outside event causes your body to trigger up, this could be anything, right? Maybe someone yelling at you, maybe someone is trying to hurt you, maybe you're scared, maybe you're in a life or death situation, maybe you're out in the jungle and you see a snake or something. It could be anything. It could be just a daily mundane thing, like maybe someone rear-ended your car. It could be anything that is classified as trauma or classified as a stressor in your life. What basically happens to the body is that the sympathetic nervous system is activated. So there are two types of nervous systems I'll talk about today. The first being the sympathetic, and then the second being the parasympathetic. So the sympathetic nervous system is what is activated when you are in that fight or flight response. Your adrenaline goes up, your breathing gets faster and more shallow, you start sweating profusely, you're ready to either run away or you're ready to attack. Your blood is just, your blood vessels are dilated, just, all these things are happening in your body. And this is your sympathetic nervous system basically letting you know that danger is around or some sort of stressor is in your environment. And this response has been there since the dawn of humanity. This kind of instinctual part of our brain, this age-old part of our brain, is even older than our cortex, and it's been there forever. It's what you would consider maybe the reptilian part of our brain anatomy, so to speak. But even not even the brain, it's just the whole nervous system is connected to the brain. So when you notice that maybe, hey, the stressor has dissipated, or something has finally diminished, maybe you were in the jungle and you heard some leaves in the bushes being ruffled and you thought it was like a tiger coming, but the next thing you find out it's a squirrel. Then what kicks in next is the parasympathetic nervous system, which slows down your body, right? It brings that calmness over you again. It turns off basically all the triggers that were turned on during your sympathetic response. Your adrenaline goes down, right? Your cortisol goes down. you stop sweating, everything gets back to sort of normal baseline. And for parasympathetic can be thought of as like a parachute. You know, a parachute helps you slowly glide down to safety, back to land, you know, and that's basically what the parasympathetic nervous system does. It helps you slowly get back to that feeling of being relaxed and calm once again. Now, why are these two systems important? I'll get right into this. So what happens once the stressor is gone from the environment, or the trauma has occurred, and you're finally getting back to baseline, is something that is witnessed in animals, but also in humans, is shaking. Shaking is something that happens after a traumatic event where your body shakes, right? Maybe you've got also shivers after, you know, you've seen like a bug or like a creepy kind of reptile or whatever, you know, and your body starts shaking, right? Or shivering in a way. You're basically getting that trauma that you just experienced, or that stressor you just experienced. You're getting all that excess energy out of your body through the shaking mechanism. Basically, I'll give you something that scientists have researched, is that what they did was they basically attacked polar bears. Now, this was all part of a scientific experiment. I'm not talking about poachers out here, you know, just out there poaching animals. But researchers went out, and this was all part of their experiment. They went out, they sort of pretty much went to, with their tranquilizer guns, to attack these polar bears, and they sort of rushed them, and it was almost like a stampede, right? Like they went there, and the polar bears were startled, they were confused, like what is going on? Then they were shot with tranquilizer guns, and then obviously after, they were let back into the wild. But what these researchers noticed with these polar bears is that after this traumatic event took place, the polar bears started shaking violently, for obviously, you know, a few moments, and then return back to normal. So that shaking violently that, you know, that these polar bears experience, but also other animals as well. You can just look at your household pet, your cat, your dog, you know, they shake all the time. Maybe when they're startled, you know, and then after that you will see them shake. That shaking is getting that excess energy out of the body, which is crucial, which is very crucial to letting those quote unquote trapped emotions or trapped energy, because emotions is just energy in motion trapped inside the body. And that shaking is just a way to get it out, right? But what goes wrong with us human beings is because we have our conscious brain, and it comes in, it rushes in at the wrong time. Maybe, you know, you're giving a presentation, and the trapped energy inside your body is looking for a way out, and you want to shake. Maybe you want to, you know, do some sort of movement with your body, but you don't, because your conscious mind is like, oh, that's embarrassing, people are going to look at me, you know. Or maybe you just experienced heartbreak, and rather than crying profusely, or crying, you know, or just doing some sort of body, you know, movement, you instead choose to be strong, you know, and you being strong means that you don't let it affect you. You show no emotion, even though deep down and deep inside your body, the emotions are, you know, coming up, but you're choosing not to express them. You're actually subduing them. You're repressing them back in your body. And so you're doing that to remain strong in the situation. And from a conscious point of view, it makes sense. But from the unconscious point of view, because the body can also be classified as the unconscious, right? That's where most of our infinite intelligence works on its own. We don't control our bodily processes. They happen on their own. And it's actually the infinite intelligence of this, you know, divine, you know, existence, whatever you want to call it, that's running the show. Ultimately, we think our conscious mind is running the show, but it's really not. It's just a small portion of what, it's like a tip of the iceberg, which what you see on the top, but below is really the meat of the substance. So the unconscious mind, you could literally call it the body, regardless, going back to what I was saying. So these emotions want to come up, these emotions want to get out of the body, but our conscious mind represses them because we want to maintain our self-image. Maybe we want to maintain how we look in front of people, and so that's what happens. We sort of mess up the whole process because rather than letting those emotions come out, we're ignoring them. We're not letting them fully be expressed. This will take me into my next segment of this video, is how can we now get these trapped emotions out of the body? Because like I've just mentioned, yes, if you don't get them out, they will deposit in your body, causing blockages, energy blockages. But also you will experience this as tight muscles, sore muscles, pains and aches all around the body, joint aches, joint pains, and then obviously for years, if this is not addressed, then it's going to turn into disease. Like, could be cancer, could be some sort of disease that affects the body in a gruesome way. And a lot of people going through some sort of disease out there, this knowledge could help you. Even with people with PTSD, people with depression, anxiety, this information can help you all out because it has helped me in my life. And I will share my experience maybe at the end. But going forward, how can we get these trapped emotions out of the body? And so this is where I will introduce bioenergetics and somatic shadow work. Fancy words, I know. Bioenergetics are basically body movements that you can do daily on your own. And if you do them consistently, slowly over time, you will see yourself loosening up. You will see the tenseness in your body, the energy trapped in your body slowly releasing, therefore changing ultimately your mood, improving depression, anxiety, stress, just your overall bodily health, and also your mental health as well, because the mind and body are connected. We cannot separate the two. They are very connected. But somatic shadow work, the soma just basically means body. So somatic shadow work, shadow is a term coined by Carl Jung, the psychologist. He was once a student of Sigmund Freud. They worked together and then eventually they split up due to differences in, theories and just ideologies and stuff like that. But Carl Jung described this shadow as this, the dark aspect of yourself, where the trauma is, where all the hurt is, where all the grief is, something that you choose to hide away from the world, your imperfections, your flaws, whatever you want to call it. But somatic shadow work basically refers to you doing body movements or movements of the body in order to release these quote-unquote trapped emotions from the body. And this is honestly the authentic shadow work. There is shadow work of the psyche, of the mind, which obviously plays an important role. I'm not denying that at all. But we cannot deny the body as well, because once the emotions are stuck in the body, you have to do the body movements to address the body trauma. That's just, it's there, and we cannot neglect that. We cannot deny that. We have to address the body at the body. So number one, first thing I will recommend everybody is yoga. This is something that I think is very crucial to somatic shadow work, but also helping relieve muscle tension, pains and aches all across your body. And one yoga session is not going to do it. You're going to have to do yoga consistently. I would say maybe 2-3 times a week. If you can do it daily, that's so much better, because you're going to change your life completely with just yoga. And I'm not talking about, some of that spiritual woo-woo kind of yoga that it's so pushed on today. I'm talking about actual body movements, actual stretching that needs to be done in the body to relieve the tension, to relieve the stress, and yoga has been scientifically shown to improve PTSD, anxiety disorder, depressions, just your daily stresses, your heart health, improves quality of sleep, your posture, flexibility, mobility, balance. It's just so much. Yoga is full of benefits for the body and overall your mental health as well. So incorporate yoga into your daily life, at least weekly life if possible. Do it because it's going to help you rid of that, those energy blockages. It's going to open up those valves, those blood vessels in your body to really let that energy flow out, to really let those emotions flow out. But that's something I recommend. I will make a more detailed video on each one of these somatic movements I'm about to share, including yoga, in the future, so you guys get a more in-depth analysis and summary of all of this. And obviously I will show you some of my favorite yoga poses for overall body stretches, full body stretches. And then, you know, one day I can make a video of myself doing yoga for you all, because I do it all the time. And I have been for almost about 2 years now. And it's really changed my life, to be honest with you. Especially if you're hitting the gym and you know, you're doing the, what do you call it? Just escaped my mind, but the strength training, right? You're lifting weights, basically. You're going to have tight muscles. And if you keep working those out, you know, if you keep working out on tight muscles, it's going to lead to injury. So stretching overall is just very important. There's a story about David Goggins, which I don't want to get into right now, but if you guys know David Goggins and you know his life, you know how stretching literally saved him from dying. So yes, I highly recommend yoga. Number 2, this one is basically the bioenergetic movement of shaking. Just like what I shared earlier in this video, shaking is very important. If you guys are confused about how to shake or how it works, just shake your body. Shake your body for about 10-15 minutes. And I'll post some links in the description where you guys can take a look at an instructor showing you how to actually shake your whole body. But shaking is necessary to get that excess energy, excess anxiety, stress out of the body in the moment. Just 1 or 2 shaking sessions, you will feel so much lighter. You will feel like a weight has been lifted off. And so I think it's something crucial that we all need to do. Yes, it does look funny. Yes, it does look like something's going on with you mentally, but you have to do it alone. You have to do it in the privacy of your own time, your own home. Do it when no one's there. And do it basically, you know, this is something that you have to do sort of in the closet. That's, you know, no puns intended at all, but you have to do it alone because, yeah, people will judge. It does look a little weird, but it's very crucial to the body in order to shake, to get those emotions out, to get those trapped emotions out of the body. The next movement is the bioenergetic movement of grounding or stomping. As you guys know, when you guys were little kids, you know, you would stomp on the floor if maybe your needs weren't being met, if your desires weren't being met, and that was a normal, healthy part of childhood. You know, yeah, your parents might have thought you're, you know, throwing a fit, or you're just, you know, being a spoiled little kid, but regardless of all of that, it was your body's mechanism of getting those excess emotions out of the body. So I'm going to post another link to, and check out my description, because my description will be full of different links to different, everything I've just mentioned. I'll post a yoga routine. I'll post a video for the shaking, but also for grounding and stomping, I'll post a video where you guys can learn these bioenergetic movements. I'll also post another bioenergetic account or channel, which I think you all should follow. It is by a teacher named Devaraj, who shows a bunch of different bioenergetic movements for all sorts of ailments, for all sorts of pains and aches, which will help a lot of the viewers of this video, you know, so be sure to check out the description with all the links. It will really help you all. Next thing I want to talk about is deep belly breathing. Deep belly breathing is something that obviously is observed in meditation, and also other, you know, practices as well. There's another practice, which will be my last practice I will mention, that also involves deep belly breathing, but we must learn to breathe from our belly, not from our chest. And that's, where we're making the biggest problem in our daily lives and accumulating a lot of stress and not letting these emotions run out of the body, is because we're not breathing deep enough. We need to breathe deep in the belly. So whenever you're breathing, breathe deep. Right? Deep breathing in the belly. Breathe deeply in the belly. So you must learn to do that, because the corporate work life, the stressing work life, all of that has caused us to breathe more from our chest. So because of that, we have shallow breathing. We're not breathing deep enough, and our lungs aren't getting that full gush and rush of air that they really need. So that's why it's super important to practice deep belly breathing. I'll post another link to where you guys can check out some deep belly breathing exercises, but also just learn the basic dynamics of deep belly breathing. And whether you're doing yoga, whether you're doing any bioenergetic movement, whether you're doing any of these movements at all, they all require you to breathe from the stomach, from the belly, because that's where your solar plexus is. That's where your gut is. And your gut essentially affects your mental health so much. It's like so much anecdotal, but also scientific evidence, all regarding the gut health and mental health. But moving forward, the next thing I want to recommend you guys is either a massage, full body massage, deep tissue massage, or acupuncture sessions with someone that is licensed and also knows what they're doing. The reason I recommend this is because just sometimes from 1 or 2 massages, deep tissue massage, or even 1 or 2, 3 sessions of acupuncture, you will release whatever is in your body. And so there's a lot of evidence out there, a lot of stories, a lot of scientific evidence as well, showing that there have been studies done that people have gotten 1 or 2 massages done, and then have either experienced shaking during the massage or the acupuncture session, or they've experienced just something has opened up and they can't stop crying. Like a bunch of emotions are just coming to the surface, and literally they're bawling their eyes out. They're crying a lot, and it's something that whatever was stuck in their body, it's coming out. Maybe you laugh a lot. Maybe that's your way of processing your emotions. Everybody has a different way. Everybody has different trauma, different kinds of emotions stuck in their body. But just going to a few sessions of a massage therapist or an acupuncturist can relieve your body of all of this accumulated tension and stress that you guys have. So please do check that out. And it's something that I highly recommend to all my viewers. The last thing I'm going to share with you all today is something that I'm really now getting into, is called Qigong. Qigong is it's from an antiquity, age-old ancient Chinese practice of body movements involving deep breathing as well. Maybe you've seen at your local park, or maybe on TV, that you see a bunch of old like maybe in their 60s, 70s, Chinese senior citizens, and they're doing these body movements that literally look like yoga mixed with martial arts, and then they're deep breathing as well. And you think wow, man, they look so cool doing it, but they're actually doing it to relieve and release any stress and anxiety that they have in their body. It brings balance back into their body, when they're back into their chi. If you guys are familiar with the word chi is just a synonym for prana, which is just a synonym for life energy, your life force. So Qi Gong is helping you balance your chi, or balance your life energy. Obviously, because if you have trapped emotions in the body, your chi is off balance. And so your body's off balance, and that's what causes the diseases and sicknesses. So Qigong is a practice, authentic somatic shadow work practice, that helps your body regain its balance, mobility, flexibility, but also the deep breathing allows you to release that excess energy trapped inside. And also, Qigong involves a lot of finger tapping, and finger tapping is another aspect of Qigong, which, if you guys are familiar with Qigong, Qigong talks a lot about meridians all across your body. These meridians are basically energy points, and don't get this confused with chakras or anything like that, even though chakras have their own kind of, foundation. But basically, energy points are all across your body, and if you can tap them with your fingers daily long enough, you're going to open up those points to sort of let that energy out, to open up those valves, those energy points, and whatever else is accumulated in there, deposited in there, it's going to come out. So it's very vital that you guys practice Qigong, or at least get into it or look into it or search this age-old practice and try, adding a few movements here and there in your daily routine to help loosen up whatever you have trapped inside your body. So these are all the practices I wanted to share with you all today. I will post links even for Qigong and also everything else I've mentioned in my video. Please check these out. Please read the description. Take a look at some of these links I've posted. And I'm sharing this message solely from the bottom of my heart. I really want anybody out there that's dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder, any kind of stress disorders, or any kind of anxiety disorders, to take a look into these movements, these bioenergetic movements. They are super necessary in order to relieve whatever it is that is trapped inside your body. Do not neglect your body. A lot of the spiritual movements today and spiritual community talk only about the mind. They have a lot of asceticism in there. Asceticism meaning they basically are body denying. Please do not deny your body, because your body is the unconscious mind. Your body is where all this trauma and these emotions are deposited and stored. And so it's important to let that flow, have a natural flow. Think about it. Would you rather just want to breathe all the air in but never breathe any air out? No, because you'd be dead. So same thing. You don't want to just have all this energy stuck in your body. You have to find a way to let it out. And it's important that you let it out. Yes, working out, running, cardio, all these things have their uses, and they are healthy and they are necessary, but we cannot ignore everything I've just mentioned in this video today. It is necessary to incorporate these movements as well into your daily life. Make time for it. You don't have to do all of them in one day, but if you can do one here, one there, you will start seeing the benefits. But I will start saying, go get a deep body massage, deep tissue massage, and do go see an acupuncturist if you feel inspired. But check them out, because they will help you release some stuff that's stuck inside. Regardless of that, I also face anxiety, and I have faced anxiety in my life, and these movements have literally changed my life. Because of my anxiety, I had insomnia, but now I sleep so much better because of incorporating these movements into my life. And so I can only share all this information from my own experience with you all today, because I've just been super inspired to share this video with my viewers and with just anybody who's taking a look at this video. Thank you so much for making it this far. If you really like the information I put out here today, give it a thumbs up. I will be making more videos about this topic, because I believe I've barely scratched the surface. I'm still researching more and more, getting more and more into these subjects and topics, and whatever I learned, I'm going to share with you all not today, but obviously today, but whenever, for free, no money charged at all. I want everybody to just do well in life, and I want to share this valuable information to anybody who it can impact their life, change their life. So thank you so much all for giving me this platform. Do subscribe to my channel. Do give it a thumbs up, because I want this video to get out there. The algorithm helps support it, and it gets the video out there if it's a good video. So please give it a thumbs up. But other than that, thank you so much, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care. Peace. I love you all. It's your boy Sabby.